Good day, everyone, and welcome to all the leaders who are present here today. This is season 5, or session 5. Look at me, season 5, session 5 of a 16 session program on leadership. And not just leadership leaders, but the mission to create and develop 10,000 transformational leaders that'll be released into this world to create a better future for our people. So welcome to all of you and thank you for being here. I want to start by saying if you are here present in this meeting today, note that it is not by chance. You are not here because you felt like attending a session. You are here because something inside of you stirred for you to be here. So leaders, I welcome you and I'm honored to be in your presence today. Let us start with an opening prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege of leadership, not just to manage, but to build. Today, as we speak about accountability, give us courage. Courage to examine ourselves. Courage to correct what is misaligned. Courage to protect the vision even when it is uncomfortable. Remove us from the fear of being disliked. Strengthen our authority through discipline and obedience. May this movement be sustained by leaders who are faithful, consistent, and accountable. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you. Thank you, leaders. Now we move over to our WIFL. Let me see who's in the room. As we know, when we do WIFLs, we do it very randomly. So we do not tell anyone who we are going to call. So I want to see who's on the line today. It might be you're listening to me, and I might just ask you to render your WIFL. So here's how the WIFL works. When I ask you for your WIFL, you share with us why you are here. And this is a very reflective moment for all of us. You know, so many times we get busy with what we have to do. And we do not take that time to reflect. Why am I here? Why am I alive? Why am I alive at this time? Why am I in the community that I'm in? Why do I have this calling burning inside of me to do this thing? Why am I here in this group? Why am I here with these people? You see, leaders, when we believe in a higher authority, then we also believe that nothing is merely by coincidence. So the WIFL gives us the time to do deep reflection. So when I ask any leader here to share your WIFL, please do so. 30 seconds, 1 minute for the most, just to share with us why you were here and what that calling in your life is. So looking at the screen, oh my word, look who's here. Leader Sesetu, you are present today. Leaders, I want to share this quick story. So I met Leader Sesetu at the MEC Global Conference, and she was assigned to take care of me at the conference. And she walked with me, and what a powerful young lady I've met. You know, we've got this saying in the IDF. We say, it's not what you look at that matters. It's what you see. So every connection in your life, every person you meet, it's not just coincidence. You have to reflect. You know, where this particular person, why have you met them? What's the storyline? And so I met this very wonderful young lady, Sesetu, and right now, Leader Sesetu, I think you must just correct me, but if I'm not mistaken, you are the youth leader for the agriculture sector in South Africa, if I'm not mistaken. And you are also, I think you are serving in the Africa continent in agriculture. You might just correct me. And then also, let me just boast about her just a little bit. Leader Sasset has also done a master's. Well, you're busy with your master's in agriculture. She's one of our vibrant and upcoming youth leaders. Oh, what an inspiration. Leader Sasset, can you share with us your WIFO, and then you can pass it on to any of the other leaders in the room, please.
Thank you so much, Global President, for that warm welcome. And it is a delight to be here today. My wife in the space of IDF. As you have gotten my background, that I'm more passionate about agriculture and the agricultural sector. And I'm still busy GP with my master's. It's my final year this year. My wife to be here is to serve the young people in the agricultural sector, and to be in spaces like this one. I want to be exposed to the right training, because a leader, to be able to serve, she also needs to be trained, and she also needs to learn how to follow the right training to be able to lead correctly. So I'm here today to learn and to also gain some more training and to be equipped to be this leader, because I've been wronged before, and having been exposed to the broken system of our country and how it doesn't actually serve the young people as it should. And it is my deepest desire now to try and do things the correct way, and try to make the young people who are behind me not to pass by the potholes that I've passed by, but to have at least a better entrepreneurship journey than I did. So I thank you.
Thank you, leaders. I think, leaders, can we give this young lady a round of applause? She's such an inspiration, such an inspiration. And leaders, you are going to do great things. There's a powerful calling on your life. Leaders, can you pass your rifle on to any other leader in the room, please?
All right, then I would like to pass the rifle to leader Fundo. Excuse if I said it incorrectly. I would like to pass it to leader Fundo.
Hello, my leaders. Good day, President. All right, my wife for being here I believe that I am born to be a leader. And as a result, I need right mentors, right structure in order for me to be able to serve our community. As a founder of Arise and Shine organization, where we are assisting women and young people in terms of skills development and means of sustainability, I believe this is the right platform that will help us to be seen out there, and at the same time to make the impact that we long to make, because we discovered that we've tried so many years to run the organization itself, but now because we have wings, us being here with you, partnering with you, we have gained wings that will give us access to reach the goal that we have of alleviating poverty in our community, because we find that is the same vision that you guys are also running with. And we are so happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, leaders. Can we just give them love for sharing their rifles? You know, when you do your rifle in an area like this, it is very vulnerable, because you are sharing a deeper part of yourself with people you don't know. And so thank you very much, leaders. Leaders, I do see that some hands are raised. I do want to share some protocol in terms of the session. We only have 45 minutes for the session. It runs from 12 to 12:45. So unfortunately, we don't take any comments or any questions during the session. Should there be time left at the end, then we then allow for questions and answers or comments. So if you have any questions or you want to ask anything, please make a note of it. And if we can finish in time, you will be allowed to ask at the end. If we open the floor up now, then you could understand we are not going to get through the lesson. So thank you to those who want to put forward a comment. Hopefully at the end, there will be time. Leaders, movements do not collapse because of opposition. They collapse because of weak accountability. Businesses do not fail because of lack of vision. They fail because of lack of accountability. And I want to stop it just for a little bit. When I say businesses do not fail because of lack of vision, many of us here as leaders, whether it be a business, a religious institution, an NGO, project, you've started it because you have a vision. Whether it be a vision for your family, for you, for your community, you see something in the future and you've decided to go for it. So if you have not reached it, or if that project has failed, the one that you've planned and you worked out and according to your plans, this should have been the outcome. However, at the end, you find you've not reached that. You see, it didn't fail because of lack of vision. It failed because of lack of accountability. You can have the calling. You can have the training. You can even be given the authority. And you can have the sending. However, leaders, without accountability, everything drifts and it drifts and it goes into a slow death. I say this, and I think you can feel it from within. We have seen, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one, where we have launched projects and we have seen what it is supposed to do for our people, for our communities, for ourselves. And then we find that with all that effort, it just didn't work. As a matter of fact, we lost money, we lost people, we lost time, and we had to start over again. Why? Why is that? This session aims to address that why. Leaders, as we are going through this particular session, please, as always, have a pen, have a book. You are going to get revelation that is meant for only you. And you have to write this down. If you are not going to make notes, today's session, everything in CTASA leads to today. If this is your first time that you are here and you're joining us, you have to get the full experience of this session. You have to have either read the book and gone through the chapters before, because you need to understand CTASA. You must understand the model. However, if it is your first session, leaders, I can assure you that there will be challenging comments coming through here today. For those who have been here throughout the weeks, everything we worked on so far culminates into today. So please have a pen, have a book, make notes. You're going to get ideas. You're going to see areas where you have done wrong that needs to be fixed, and you need to address that immediately. You see, leaders, if we are serious about eradicating poverty, because this is the mission of the IDF, these sessions, these leadership masterclass sessions, are not being done because, well, it's all fit in a training session. No, leaders, it's got a specific objective. These sessions, and the reason leaders are sacrificing their time, the reason why I'm sacrificing my time to do this is not to deliver a training session. No, leaders, We are working towards the eradicating of poverty. We are on a mission to say that poverty can be eradicated. This is why we are doing these sessions. So if we are serious about eradicating poverty, and if we are serious about confronting the social ills in our communities, my leaders, I had a talk with someone, I think it was yesterday, and we discussed young ladies getting married and finding themselves in relationships where gender-based violence prevalent. What do we do? How do we help these young girls? We talk about, we look around in our communities. I mean, I live in Cape Town, South Africa. And one of the things that plague our communities, drugs amongst the young people. What do we, these social ills, and we can go on and on. I meet leaders who are passionate about fatherhood and saying fathers must take up their roles in their families, as this is part of the decay in our communities. You see, leaders, if we are serious about confronting social ills in our communities, then accountability is not optional. It is structural. Leaders, I know that some of you have attended for some time, so I'm going to ask a question. I want this one to be a bit more interactive. I'm going to talk about Vasira. Raise your hand. I want to see in the group. Can someone tell me what Vasira stands for? What is VSIRA? Vasira. I mean, all of you or most of you have done the Leadership Masterclass. You've read the book. So raise your hand. I'll ask you, please tell us, Vasira, what does it mean? What does that acronym stand for? Where's my leaders? Come on. Okay, I don't see anyone raising a hand.
Please come again with the question.
My question is Vasira, VSIRA. What does the acronym mean? We have been talking about CTASA and Vasira since we started this. I'm doing a check and I'm asking any leader to explain to us what Vasira means, the acronym. You can raise your hand and then I can direct it to you. All right, I don't see any hands raised. Let me go through it. Vasira, leaders, these are very important. Please go through the Leadership Masterclass. There's an online course for Leadership Masterclass as well. It's very important that when we learn and we're sacrificing our time in these sessions, that we take the skill and we are able to apply it. Vasira is crucial if, as a leader, you want to move from vision to execution. If you're not going to apply Vasira, you are going to find yourself with project after project, idea after idea, and these things are not going to work out the way you want it to work out. So let's go through Vasira. Vasira, which is VSIRA. Okay, please write that down. VSIRA. You'll find these notes in your Leadership Masterclass book. The book is made available after every session. Please read it, and you're also asked to just go through the book before we start these sessions. The V stands for vision. The S stands for skills. The I stands for incentives. The R stands for resources. And A stands for action plan. Vasira is our execution structure. You must know that. The Vasira model, I use it constantly. I use it regularly. When I'm in a talk or I engage people, I talk in the sequence of Vasira. I'll make an example. If I'm presenting something or there's a certain project, or something that I'm pitching, even if it's pitching for funding, or I'm meeting with a potential partner, I always talk in the sequence of Vasira. In other words, I'll first talk about the vision. I'll paint the picture of what I see. Then I'll talk about the skills that I bring and I see that this person has in the fulfillment of this vision. I then go to incentives and I say, if we collaborate your skills, my skills, and fulfillment of the vision, this is the incentive for you and for I and for me. And then once I've discussed incentives, I then talk about the resources, that once we pull our resources together, how much better that would be in terms of achieving the vision. Then we start talking about action plan. You see, leader, when you apply Vasira in your discussions, your engagements, your negotiations, it will help you to form stronger partnerships. Please study this one, VSIRA. Talk in that sequence. You are going to get way more partners and you'll have many more people sponsoring your projects and putting money into your campaigns. Very, very important. Take that as a golden nugget. So, as I said, Vasira is our execution structure. It answers the question, how does vision become results? And isn't that a question we all ask? How does this thing that I see, how do I make it real? How do I see these 1 million businesses across Africa? I see the vision. We're going to create these 1 million merchants, these 1 million businesses. How do I make that real? How do we make these 1 million healthcare workers, health and wellness practitioners that we want to develop across Africa? I see the vision. How do I make this a reality? See, Vasira answers the question, how does vision become results? But here's the truth. Accountability is what holds Vasira together. Without accountability, vision becomes inspiration without direction. I'm inspired, I'm excited, but I'm not really sure I'm going to do this. I want fathers to become more prominent in their families. I want them to take up a more prominent role in the lives of their their children, their households. I'm inspired. I can see this outcome if they do that. But how do I go about doing that? Without accountability, skills are developed, but they're not applied. Leaders, how many of us have sit in training rooms and we've attended training sessions and you've attended sessions like this? You've developed skills, but it's not being applied. Accountability addresses that. Incentives create entitlement without accountability. Incentives create a sense of entitlement instead of performance. Without accountability, you are a chairperson, you're a secretary general, you're a treasurer, you're an organizer, whatever the portfolio is, you're president, you're pastor, whatever it might be, you're a director, CEO. Without accountability, the incentive, that title, creates a sense of entitlement instead of performance, instead of driving performance. See, leaders, without accountability, resources leak. Money is misused, or money comes in, is not managed properly, or even a resource such as time. We sit in meetings for hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, 1.5 hours. We have meetings all the time, utilizing resources, but we're not holding ourselves accountable. And action plans remain talk. How often haven't we been in those meetings? We're having meeting after meeting after meeting, and the same action plan gets spoken about all the time, but it doesn't get executed. See, leaders, accountability protects the vision. Accountability measures skills. Accountability aligns your incentives. Accountability guards your resources. And accountability, very importantly, enforces the action plan. Vasira builds the system. Please, leaders, I cannot stress this enough. Vasira should be in the back of your mind. If anyone asks you Vasira, you should be able to say it. It's a system of your communication. You'll use this anywhere. You'll use it with your children. It's something in your household. It's a system that will drive you forward. You must, please, you have to know Vasira. So Vasira builds the system. However, accountability disciplines the system. If you remove accountability, the theory simply becomes theory. We're going to read it, we're going to talk about it, but we're not going to see the result. But if you apply accountability, the theory accelerates impact. And this is what today's session is about. Today, we are going to talk about acceleration. And it's going to be challenging, leaders. Let us confront the uncomfortable truth. Many leaders avoid accountability because they want to be liked. They fear conflict. They fear rejection. And many times, they fear losing people. I need you to listen carefully, leaders. If you choose to be liked, I'm talking to the leaders in the room. If you choose to be liked over being respected, you will eventually lose both. When leaders avoid accountability, standards drop, projects stall, money leaks. Strong, good leaders get frustrated, and weak leaders remain comfortable. I'm going to say that again, and I'm challenging people here. When you as a leader avoid accountability, the standards that you have seen in your vision, those standards drop. The projects that you have laid out, that you've worked, those projects are stalled and they are delayed. Money is wasted. Money leaks. I've set out this budget. I'm supposed to achieve this project within this budget, but it's just not enough. We are just not hitting budget. Strong leaders, we got strong people in our team. I find that these strong leaders get frustrated. As a matter of fact, I end up losing some of them. And where they started off strong, but why are these leaders now all of a sudden so nonchalant? Why are the energy seems to have dropped. They started good, but now they've slowed down. And weak leaders, they remain comfortable. They're right there in your team. Leaders, when you avoid accountability, average becomes normal. And average does not build a movement. Leaders, we are not here to be average. Leadership is not a popularity contest. You have to grab this. And I'm going to share my personal story with you shortly. Leadership is not a popularity contest. It is stewardship. You have been chosen by the high authority to fulfill a mission here on earth in the time that you have been afforded. You are a steward. Technical team, can you please mute everybody in the background? Thank you. Leadership is stewardship. Very important that we get that alignment correct. Sometimes we miss the two. We confuse the two. There was a season as president of the IEDF, and I've got long-standing leaders in the room that will share with you, and they'll relate to what I'm going to share with you now. There was a season as president of the IEDF where I did not exercise accountability strong enough. And the reason I did that was my biggest reason. I feared losing people. I had people coming and working within the IEDF. and I feared losing them. And this I was very careful when it came to accountability. I thought if I enforce strict reporting, they might leave. If I demand deliverables, they may withdraw. And I also thought if I corrected performance, I might offend them. So leaders, I tolerated. I delayed reporting. I tolerated weak execution. I tolerated poor financial oversight. And I tolerated missed deadlines. Because of that, many projects that we have launched, plan to launch, that we have launched, they failed. Momentum slowed down. We lost a lot of money, and our movement grew very, very slowly. The IDF was launched in South Africa. It took us 3 years to build IDF South Africa. Now, leaders, if you compare the IDF to its sister organization in South Africa, the organization that represented the informal economy in South Africa prior to us took 15 years to be formed. We were formed in 3. So you would say that is very good. However, it could have been done in much less time. Much less time. So the problem, there was not vision. The problem, and if I'm honest, your leaders, I'm honest with you, the problem was weak accountability from me as the leader of this organization. I made a decision. If people leave because of accountability, then they were never aligned with the vision of this movement. I wouldn't use the word enforcing, but I started implementing clear reporting structures, outlining clearer deadlines, setting up clearer standards, as well as clearer financial discipline within the organization. And here's the truth, leaders. People did leave. A lot of them left. Leader Mabuzo, throw me an emoji or something, because, just to confirm what I'm saying, so the other leaders know that I'm not just talking a story here. People left. Leaders, can you please mute your mic? Thank you. But here's something happened, leaders. Something powerful happened when I started exercising accountability. Those leaders left, but new leaders entered. Disciplined leaders entered. Aligned leaders entered. Accountable leaders entered. We moved from building IDF South Africa, which took us 3 years, to building IEDF Global, which is now in over 20 African countries and spans across 4 continents in 1 year. 1 year. You see, leaders, accountability accelerated the movement. When your standards rise, alignment increases. And when alignment increases, momentum accelerates. Leaders, I'm going to share 2 examples out of the Bible, and I'm going to reference to Jesus where he exercised accountability. And with all of the sessions, I want to say that in the Leadership Masterclass, our reference to Jesus as a leader that we are studying the principles of. The IDF is not a religious organization, it's not a religious institution. However, we reference to lessons from leaders in my life, my personal upbringing. I am Christian, and as such, I reference to a leader that I can relate to. In your life, you can find a leader that you relate to, and you'll find similar principles. So I'm going to reference to two examples in the life of Jesus where he exercised accountability. And we know that Jesus ministered for 3 years, and his movement, because this is what we are building, leaders, a movement, his movement is still effective today. So let's look at the Gospel of Matthew 16, verses 21 to 23, where Jesus corrected Peter. Now, Jesus had just explained he would suffer and be crucified. Peter then pulled him aside and said, "That must never happen to you." Now, Peter said that to Jesus because he loved him. And as one could imagine, Peter was very emotional hearing Jesus explaining the suffering that he was going to go through. But Peter was misaligned. Peter was thinking comfort. Jesus was thinking calling. Jesus then responded, "Get behind me, Satan. You do not have in mind the concerns of God." Leaders, that's the strong correction. Oh my, leaders. Now, if there's a strong correction, that's what is a, oh my word, that's a strong correction. Why would Jesus do that? He did that, leaders, because misalignment amongst your leaders spreads. If Jesus allowed that thinking to remain, the mission would be compromised. Accountability protects the vision, even when correction is uncomfortable. I'll share a second example where Jesus exercised accountability. And this is not easy, leaders. I want us to make this personal. I want us, when I share these stories, to go to a time where you were challenged as a leader with someone closest to you, closest, right here, someone that you trusted, that was not aligning to the vision that you had. And you had to exercise accountability, and you did not. Or maybe you did, and how did that make you feel? Let me share the second one. In the Gospel of John 6, verses 60 to 66, this very interesting one. So Jesus delivered a difficult teaching. So you can write it down if you haven't read the scripture, John 6 verses 60 to 66, you can go read it. Jesus delivered a very difficult teaching. And many said, "This is too hard. This teaching, what's expected of me, is too hard." And many left. Not one, not two, many left. Momentum must have dropped. Now, leaders, Jesus could have softened the message, but it did not. Instead, he turned to the 12 and asked, "Do you also want to go away?" You see, leaders, he risked losing everyone because the mission was more important than crowd size. The mission was more important than popularity. Crowds want comfort. However, movements require accountability. I'm leading to a close. But leaders, this is where it comes. And I'm talking to you. This is you and I. There's no one else. You are listening to me. You've got your pen. You've got your book. And I'm going to challenge you now. You see, before you hold others accountable, are you living CTASA? Now, CTASA, let me explain. The C is for call, the T is for train, the A is for authority, the S is for send, and the A is accountability, what we are talking about now. Are you living your call? In other words, are you aligned to your call? Have you identified your call? Are you aligned to your call? Training. Are you investing in yourself? Are you training every day? Are you educating yourself? Are you learning? Are you ensuring that you are developing as a leader in that skill set that you are finding yourself in? Are you continuously improving yourself? Authority. Are you exercising authority or are you exercising power? Are you building your influence? And very important in leaders, send. Are you delivering results as a leader? You see, leaders, you and I cannot demand what we do not demonstrate. If I am not delivering results, how can I demand that from those whom I lead? You cannot demand what you do not demonstrate. Accountability begins in the mirror. Leaders, as I'm wrapping up today's session, if you want comfort, simply lower your standards. You'll have comfort. But if you want impact, raise your standards. Weak accountability slows us down. Strong accountability accelerated us. Yes, people left, but our alignment increased and the movement multiplied. Now I ask you, will you protect comfort or will you protect the vision? Poverty will not be eradicated by inspiration alone. Social ills will not disappear because we have good intentions. They will be dismantled by disciplined, accountable, visionary leaders. If you feel called for more, if you have vision, but you need structure, if you want to be part of a global network of transformational leaders, join us. Join a movement committed to eradicating poverty, confronting social ills, building one informal economy, and speaking with one voice. This is not a title, leaders. This is a commissioning. It is from within the informal economy that the new economy will arise. And the weakness of the informal economy is its fragmentation. When we are speaking of the unification of the informal economy and speaking with one voice, we are speaking about awakening a sleeping giant. Step into alignment, step into structure, and step into accountability. Movements do not grow by spectators. They grow by committed builders. And perhaps you were born to build. Builders measure, builders review, builders correct, and builders are accountable. Leaders stand firm, lead strong, and let us build. I thank you. We are now at the end of our session. I see it is 12:45. Leaders, we unfortunately do not have time for question and answer sessions. A recording of the session will be released again, and I'm encouraging you to please listen to this again. Exercise accountability in your business, in your organization, and watch it accelerate. Thank you, leaders. God bless. Goodbye.